All right, welcome back to the Betting with Babies podcast, the ultimate sports betting guide for dads. We are so excited to be back after a long off season, and we are getting ready for season 5 of the Betting with Babies podcast. We've got your main host, Mr. Clutch, our co-host, Mr. No Days Off, and Maddie Stats, all together for 4 straight years to bring you our best bets each week, to rank our top touchdown scorers, and as always, to spend some time diving into the dad zone. This first week is just going to be Mr. Clutch. The boys were not able to get together, but we do plan on getting the podcast going again this year, and we are going to be doing our PodPicks competition where we'll drop all of those plays for free each week. And we're sad. We're sad we can't make it on this week, but that doesn't mean we're not going to put out some great, valuable content before the Week 1 NFL season. So I wanted to come on and post a short video to do a breakdown on our first game of the year, the Thursday night football game between the Ravens and the Chiefs. And so, as always, remember, when you tune into Betting with Babies, we are here to give you the insights and our expectations for how the games are going to go. We're typically going to cover our best bets each week. We're going to go through each of our top touchdown scorers where we put together our touchdown parlay. And then we get into the dad zone where we dig into the interesting tips, stories, and perspectives of being a dad during a busy sports season. That's why we built the Betting with Babies community. We know that it's too difficult to do it alone when you're a dad. And then when you're a sports betting dad, you sort of add a lot more challenges on top, unique set of challenges that we want to help you face together as a team. So stay with us throughout the entire NFL season. We're going to talk about how to balance babies and bets, and we're going to make sure that we put out profitable sports betting picks so that we can bankroll a very fun and exciting football season. So make sure to like and subscribe to the podcast. Let's get going on the Thursday night football game. We've got the Ravens and the Chiefs. These are two powerhouse teams, both with strong offenses and experienced quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes are both looking to be MVP candidates this year, and they've got explosive weapons at their disposal. I mean, there's no surprises at this point with the Kansas City Chiefs. They are a 2-time defending champion, and they're looking to go for a three-peat, which is one of the main storylines in the NFL because it is just so difficult to do. The Chiefs have that chance this season. So this game is definitely promises to be a high-octane battle. We've got plenty of action on both sides of the ball. So let's get into the sports betting trends. First, we got to know the Ravens are 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 home games. This team loves to play at home. They've got a banging crowd, and so the Ravens show up for their home crowd. The Chiefs have dominated as road underdogs, going 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games. And so you got Kansas City, who has hit the over 4 of their last 5 games when facing an AFC North team. And the total for this game is currently set at 51.5. So keep an eye on that trend. The over is also at play with some of the historic trends that we see. Taking a look at the current handles. So we're 48 hours, we're about 30 hours before kickoff. And we've got currently 55% of the public money is on the Chiefs, while the sharp bettors are leaning more towards the Ravens. We've got some bigger bets by percentage coming in for the Ravens to cover their spread. And so we're going to watch that as we go. We're looking for consistent line movement, right? We do typically like to fade the public in the beginning of the NFL. It's good to see where the sharp money is coming in, but the sharps don't always get it right. So you want to make sure that the line movement is consistent with where the handle is moving. If you start to see some inconsistencies, or what we look for is called reverse line movement, that's where you want to take a step back and reassess what you're seeing on the board. But that's where we're at currently. So the total handle for the total is around 60% currently on the over, and the sharp has sort of pushed that line down, betting the under pretty heavily. The biggest bets have come in on the under and has pushed that line down from 52.5 down to 51.5. So I would wait to see if you're someone who's thinking the under is at play. I think you want to wait closer to tip off. If you're going for the over, you might want to get that in now. It's down at 51.5. All right, so the Betting with Babies team is here to help you balance babies and bets. So let's give us our take on this game. We're going to put together a same game parlay. We'll tell you what some of the expectations that we have from a fantasy and player prop perspective as well. So, Lamar Jackson on the rushing line is always something you got to pay attention to. Now, they did pick up Derrick Henry this year, so he is likely going to steal some of those rushing touchdowns away from Lamar Jackson. But doesn't mean he's going to take away from his yards. In many ways, you could argue it's going to help him stretch the field a little bit more and get him outside the tackles with a little bit more one-on-one coverage when he's rushing the ball, which we know is not a good thing for the defense. Because Derrick Henry is going to require that much more attention inside the tackles. So when you got those option plays and those outside counter plays, it's going to give Lamar Jackson maybe even more of an advantage in the rushing game. So look at the rushing line there for Lamar. And then you've got, the Kansas City Chiefs. They've done this before. They're currently always in the spotlight in week one. So I don't expect any nerves here from this team. They're going to come out and do what they do. I'd expect them to get the ball to their key running back early in this game. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for a long ball with some of the speed they have on the outside. I mean, whether it's going to be Rice or it's going to be Worthy, I could see them taking a big shot early in this game and often in this game. This is just an explosive offense. They are going to win games in chunks, big plays. That's the way this team is built. And so I do expect to see the first quarter of this game. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of points in the first quarter and then it sort of slowed off from there. From a defensive line perspective, always important to see. I mean, the Chiefs are an underrated defense. The Ravens, I think it's pretty well known. The Ravens have always been a solid defense this year. There's really no difference there. They're going to expect it to be a solid O-line, one of the top 10 defenses in the NFL. But the Chiefs, you cannot always say that about the Chiefs. Last year had a great performance, and this year is currently underrated. So that's really important. So what we're going to do here is we are going to break down our biggest plays as far as the same game parlay that we're putting together. So we've got a same game parlay. It's 4 legs. It's a plus 307. So we're dropping this probably this afternoon. It's going to be a Wednesday afternoon. So the lines might change a little bit. We're putting a $200 bet on this play to win. It's plus 307. So that's probably going to win us closer to $600+ here. So we've got the first one is Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown scorer. I think they're going to make a point to get Derrick Henry in the game. He looks good in that Ravens uniform. I expect Henry to get a touchdown. Then we're going to go Patrick Mahomes with 2+ passing touchdowns. This team's going to score. They want Patrick Mahomes to get as many touches as possible and as many stats as possible to pay that $500 million quarterback. So give me 2 touchdown passes for Mahomes. That brings us to the Ravens. I like Lamar Jackson to get a touchdown pass. We're going to go with 1 TD pass for the third leg. It's an alternate spread on Lamar. And then we've got an alternate spread on Lamar's rushing. We're going to take 25+ yards. So that's 4 legs. Derrick Henry touchdown, Patrick Mahomes 2+ passing touchdowns, Lamar Jackson passing touchdown, and Lamar Jackson over 25 rushing yards. That's a plus 307 to kick off our Thursday night football. All right, so let's go out there and cash this one, and we'll be back next week to break down every single Thursday night football game. And next week, we're hoping to get the boys back together. So appreciate you tuning in. Again, remember to like and subscribe. We post videos here throughout the NFL season. And as always, whether you follow or fade our picks, we hope you make some cash.